Thank you for joining us on Kristin Talks, Talks with Kristin. I hope you're all having a wonderful week or looking forward to having a wonderful week or a wonderful weekend, whatever day it is that you watch this. I hope things are going well for you and that you're enjoying this beautiful spring weather, and as everything's starting to pop and bloom and grow, it's just such a fun and happy time of year. Today, I have a couple questions. First, I wanted to ask everybody, how's your journaling going? You know, I started this podcast February the 11th, and we talked a little bit about journaling that day, and then I did a journaling segment the next week. So there you could have 4 or 5 weeks maybe of journal entries. And so I just started thinking about it. I thought, how's it going? Have you read back through your journal to see different things that might have been happening or going on, or have you not started? Well, I'm not your teacher. I'm not checking your book or your notebook to see if you're journaling. This is for you. Your journal is for you. And, sometimes I'll look through my journal and I may not journal for 4 or 5 days. And I hate it when I do that. I'll go in and I'll see I wrote something on this date and then I didn't until this date. And I'm always like, wonder what all went on in those days. I must have not thought it was exciting enough, or I got busy in life. But most of the time I really enjoy reading back through, even if it's one word, guys. It might be cry. It might be I smiled a lot today. You may write Jesus, and that's all you wrote. But you know what? You know what was going on that day, or he knew, or you didn't have anything that you could write. You were so broken. Or you may have written something that fantastic that happened, and it's so wonderful to read back through. Or where your husband packed your lunch and wrote you a sweet note. You may just write in there, oh, he wrote me this note today, or she had a note on the mirror this morning before I went to work. Those little things too. And when you go back and read it, it just gives you such a great feeling. So anyway, I just wanted to see how y'all were doing with that. I have another question for you. Why do you think we put life before God? Okay, some of you are like, whoa, no, God comes first, spouse comes second, kids come third, family, church, work, however. Okay, so I have the question again. Why do you think we put life before God? Okay, so where am I going with this? Do you start every day with prayer? Or do you end every day with prayer? You do? That's great. Okay. So are you maybe even taking 10 to 15 minutes to do a devotional or a Bible study, or to read and pray? Okay, if you are, fantastic. Keep it up. That is so wonderful. It really, really is. And you will see the benefit from doing that. That's fantastic. Now, I see many times, and I'm not judging you because I don't know you. I know me. I don't know you. We'll take a break. Let's say you have 2 15-minute breaks at work, or you have a lunch break, whatever. We take those breaks, and what do? We get on the phone. Whether you are someone that gets on social media, you get on your little games, or you talk on the phone, we get on that phone. And we don't realize how much time we use, even though we get a reading every week that tells us, hey, you average 3 hours and 30 minutes a day on your phone, or 5 hours, or whatever it is. So we're spending time on that phone. And, are we really resting then? We're taking a break to rest. You can say, oh, I rest playing solitaire or Tetris or bubbles or words or whatever it is that you do. Why not take a few minutes and do a devotion, or just to sit and pray? If you take those few minutes, you rest in Him. Rest in Him. When we don't have anxiety, worry, and stress, we have calmness, faith, and true resting in our Lord. What a wonderful feeling. I see as I get older so much more in our world that is anxious, that is stressed out. And I think a lot of that has to do with us putting life before God. You know, us not taking that true time to rest in the Lord and to spend time with Him. And you know, it's like we talked about on, it may have been the second week, sometime early on, we talked about we don't have time. I don't have 10 to 15 minutes to do a Bible study or listen to a Bible study. Okay, do you commute to work? Do you drive 10 minutes to work or an hour to work or whatever it is? What do? Usually we get on the phone and talk to somebody, or we listen to music, or we listen to a podcast, which are all great. Not saying it's not. But that is time you could be praying. Oh my goodness. Wonderful prayer time. You could be listening to a podcast that is a Bible study. Yes. And talk to the Lord while you're doing that too. I mean, you've got that time. Do it. Dig into it. But once again, like we talked about, I got off onto another place, but you know, we talked about praying and asking the Lord to help us to use our time more effectively or differently where we can better serve Him. So there's that again. And you know, I think our thinking and talking about these things in these podcasts each week help make us more aware. You know, it may not be that we do know we get on our phone and we play games, or we get on social media, or we talk to our whoever friend or whatever. But, you know, I don't think we really think about that, hey, you know what, I just spent this much time and I actually could have prayed about this first, or talked to the Lord about this, or completed a Bible study today. So maybe us talking about this, when we pick up the phone to start playing the game, you might say, hey, I think I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to pray about some things in my life first. Or those friends that I have that are having situations heavier than they can carry right now, I'm going to pray for them. And you might start more, it might almost be a subconscious thing to do that before you start your social media searches or your, you know, and find it very rewarding and fulfilling. On another note, but a slightly different one, because that made me think about this while we're talking about praying for our friends. Do you tell people that you'll pray for them? And then do you actually pray for them or pray for their request or their need? You know, so many times we say that, and I hope that everybody does when you say that you're going to pray for somebody, because that's something that always hits deep with me. And if I tell you I'm going to pray for you, I can promise you I am. Because there have actually been times I can tell you that someone has said something or whatever, and I've said, I'm so sorry. And that's all I've said. And then later on that day, I will pray for them, and then I might go back and tell them I'm going to pray for them. But I know if I'm in the middle of something right now, I'm afraid I won't remember, then I just wouldn't tell them that I was going to pray for them. But now what I've started doing is, if I tell you that I'm going to pray for you, pray for your situation or whatever it is, I either write it down right then so that I will keep going back to that list and praying over that need or that specific request, or I just stop right then and pray. Like there was somebody, their father was having surgery this past week, and it was like an hour before surgery or something. It was right close. And I had written on there something and said, I'll be praying for him, his medical team. So I just stopped right then and I prayed for him, because I knew that if I didn't, I don't know when I would get to it, you know? So that's just something that I wanted to say, because it's something that hits strongly with me. And one other thing, a couple weeks ago, Erica and I went to visit someone in the hospital. And we told her when we got there that we came because we wanted to pray with her. And you know, that meant so much to her, because she said so many people would come in, doctors and nurses even, and visitors and everybody, and say, I'll be praying for you, or I will pray for you. And she would get excited thinking they were going to pray with her right there, and they didn't. And it's not that you always have to. I want you to feel led, and the Holy Spirit will lead you. But there are times when you know, I need to pray with this person right now. And you just need to be obedient and do it. And sometimes it's scary. And sometimes you might have to go pray for yourself first. And when you do, just tell the Lord, say, I need you to orchestrate this entire time with this person. You want me to pray with them, and I know that you do, and I need you to orchestrate it. I need it to all be from you, God. I want it all to be about you, not me. Remove anything that's me. I mean, there have been times I've gone in, and when I left, I didn't know what in the world I said. I didn't know what was going on. I felt like I was about to fall out because I was so high in the sky. And I mean, it's like, oh my goodness, what just took place? Well, because I said, it needs to be you, Lord, not me. More about him, less about me. It needs to be him. So you can pray that. God will give it to you. I mean, it'll happen. But the thing is, we need to do more praying for people with them too. Sometimes they need to hear it. They might be scared about what's going on. But when you pray with them, there's that calmness that can only be from the Lord. So today we talked about where are we at with journaling, putting life before God. Let's try to work on not doing that, and being better about that, and being intentional with our time with him, and praying for others. And I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I hope that you are getting something from these. I'm praying about it every day. And it's where the Lord wants me. And if it's just one person, that's okay. If it's more, that's great. I hope that it ignites a fire in all of us to be kinder to others, to love on others, and to live like Jesus. But I do really want y'all to have a wonderful week. I love you all, and continue drinking your water, doing some exercise every day, taking some deep breaths. Until next time, Kristin Talks.